We're visiting with new Transportation and Trails planner Julie Smith. Julie, I thought it might be a good time to give our folks a little bit of an update on where some of the trails projects stand in Rome and Floyd County.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate that. So as you know, Mount Berry Trail will be extended, hopefully in the next several months. City Engineering is working on putting out a final proposal for construction of that. And as you know, that will extend from where it currently terminates. There's a bridge at Big Dry Creek, and it will go over Big Dry Creek, go over some pasture, and then connect to the west side of the Armurchie Bypass Bridge. So then you will go down a ramp and then walk through the back Braves parking lot, and then you will connect to what we call the North Ridge Ferry section by the Compassionate Friends brick wall.
All right, that should be a magnificent addition when it's complete. Of course, we'll have the downtown loop, roughly a 10-kilometer loop around the river, along the Oostenaula River. What about some of our other projects? In particular, I'm thinking about, we've had some new signage along some of what I like to call our urban wilderness trails.
Exactly, Doug. You know that when TRED formed in 2012, soon after in 2013, we built 6 miles of looping mountain bike trail at historic Jackson Hill. So those trails are so amazing. They are in town. People don't have to go all the way out to Berry. Hikers, mountain bikers, everyone loves those trails. They're so bucolic. So Doug, you are correct. We do have some new trail signage at the kiosk that was actually built by an Eagle Scout several years ago. So you will see, if you go to the trailhead, on the front side, you will see a newly designed map, and it has all of the Jackson Hill trails. And then on the back is a history of Jackson Hill. A lot of people know that Fort Norton, which is an earthen fortification, is at Jackson Hill, but what a lot of people don't know is Rome's historic waterworks facility is there. It was the filtration plant that was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So it's a great time for us to highlight those, as you call them, urban trails. And then also behind Jackson Hill, Doug, is Blossom Hill Trail, and that's another beautiful trail that has about 2 miles of very much looping mountain biking trails. I would say that's for the more experienced mountain biker and hiker, so I probably would not take your kids if they're learning how to ride mountain bikes to Blossom Hill.
Definitely for the experienced mountain biker.
Yes, I totally agree. And Blossom Hill was a former African American community, so it was its own little community up there on top of Blossom Hill. So there's a lot of great history that we like to highlight. And I also want to point out that kiosk at Blossom Hill, which is directly behind Jackson Hill, was built by an Eagle Scout from Troop 113, Charlie Latafe. And so you'll see on that, it's great because it's got an integrated bench as well. So you'll see the map of Blossom Hill and then a brief history. And I need to point out that both histories for Jackson Hill and Blossom Hill were written by Scott McCord, who is an amazing TRED volunteer. He loves Jackson and Blossom Hill. He's constantly working over there, and he happens to be brothers of County Manager Jamie McCord. So we're really grateful to Scott McCord and his historical narrative for both Jackson and Blossom.
And I guess one last thing that we want to mention today is the fact that we're going to have some new signage on some of our paved trails because our friends at Advent Redmond have become naming sponsors for our trail system.
That's exactly right, Doug. In the last month, it was announced that the City of Rome and Floyd County has partnered with Advent Health Redmond. They are the exclusive sponsor of the newly rebranded Eco Greenway Trail Network. And so many of you know that ECO stands for Etowah Coosa Oostenaula. And so the major trailhead, or kind of the mile marker 0, if you will, is also the Eco Center. And that's picked because there's ample restrooms, ample parking. That's kind of the hub of our trail network right there. So we're very excited to have Advent Health Redmond on board. They've got some amazing opportunities and amenities that they've planned, and so it's a real exciting time to be in trails. One of the things that they propose that we'll be working on in the next couple years is a play set, a swing set at the Mount Berry trailhead. So we're thrilled about that. And also a food forest down in South Rome, adjacent to Kingfisher Trail. It's not a typical garden, if you will, but it's more of like a foraging food forest. So perhaps planting blueberry, blackberry, apple, peach trees. And so as you're walking along the trail, if the fruit is producing, if the trees are producing, then you can pick some fruit. So we're very excited with their very out-of-the-box ideas that they have for enhancing the trails.
Looking forward to seeing all that's going to happen in the future. We're going to be a lot of talk over the next couple of years. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Doug.